Welcome to the Not Nerd Podcast. I'm Nate Heath, and we are here to help you tech better. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
Well, hello there, Nate.
Hello.
Just for those who are not playing along at home, we had a much better experience going into this podcast than we did last week. So
about 45 minutes better, if my memory serves me correctly.
Absolutely.
But yes, we are live on YouTube once again. We've got some people that have joined us there. And want to get into some follow-up. And I think the first piece of follow-up that I wanted to talk about last week was the fact that I wanted to give a little peek behind the curtain because 2 weeks ago, we went live out of nowhere. And what had happened is we had talked forever about doing video again, and I was under the impression we were going to record our video and then put it out, and I get on with Dave before the show, we're getting things set up, and he goes, yeah, I let a bunch of people know we're going live, and I said, you didn't let me know that. So we went live. It went pretty well that first week, and then, as Dave mentioned last week, we just had some really weird audio stuff, so it took us forever to get going. Chris and Todd had to go to bed before we could actually get the episode, but we're getting it worked out. We love figuring out new technology. That's why we do this whole thing, so playing around with a bunch of different stuff and getting it all set up so we can come live. We'll have video. We put the audio podcasts out still, but I did want to apologize for our audio-only listeners because you probably have noticed a vast difference in the quality the last couple weeks, but when you're doing video and going live, we're not quite putting as much post-processing into it as we were.
Yeah, before we were just recording two separate audio tracks through a pretty good program, and then I would sweeten the audio and put in the effects, and I'd export it, and Nate would listen to it. Now, we're just doing it live, and whatever comes out of the recorder is what comes out of the recorder, so.
Yes. Well, on to our tech follow-up. Okay. We were talking about...
I'm like, what button am I going to push here? No.
Yes. We were talking about how GM's getting rid of CarPlay, and this week, the Ford CEO, whose name is Jim Farley, and you might go, oh, Farley? He's not related to Chris Farley, is he? Yes. He is actually Chris Farley's brother.
Are you kidding me?
No, which is pretty funny with Tommy Boy and Callahan Auto Parts and all that stuff. But Jim Farley is one of Chris Farley's, I think he maybe has two other brothers. But he came out and he's basically like, hey, you know what? We lost the battle for in-car technology a long time ago. We're going with Apple and Google because their stuff, they put so much effort into it. We can't touch this. Good luck, GM, with your own software. And of course, GM, it's come out more that they're really, the reason they're doing this is for subscription stuff that they can add in there and charge people for every little thing. And so
they want full control of the data stack so that they can exploit all of their customers. What a way to service the people who buy equipment from them.
Yes.
I guess it's not unlike any computer manufacturer or social media site. They do the same things, with the exception of Apple. Although Apple does do some things with your data that's helpful to them, they just don't sell it to other people.
Yes. Yes. And Todd, with some real-time follow-up, he says, recording it and never, ever listening back to it until Chelsea lets you know something went wrong is called pulling a Mark and Toddcast, which their podcast is great fun.
Yeah.
But
you hear everything on that podcast.
Maybe and we might have to have him back on the podcast because he is doing a whole term-long project paper on the future of the subscription economy. And he said it's fairly bleak. But yeah, it would be fun to have you on, Todd, and talk more once you've finished that up. And the subscription economy, you can't escape it. And you're just going to have subscriptions everywhere.
Yes, it is a thing.
And you mentioned Apple. We used to spend a lot more time on quarterly results and everything, but I linked in the show notes to Jason Snell's amazing quarter and charts that he does every time, and Apple's quarter was better than expected, and I've seen some of the other big tech companies And there was nothing game changing. Some were up a little, some were down a little bit, but Apple exceeded expectations. So
Yeah. I mean, are we surprised? It's typically what happens. Apple goes up and down a little bit, and I always used to mention that Microsoft is always up and to the right with their stocks, and Apple has been like this and then down a little and this and down a little, but now they've pretty much locked into that up and to the right, just like Microsoft. So,
yeah,
and
yes,
Nate, are you
and
still getting that weird echo?
I
Okay.
am definitely getting the weird echo. So I am not only hearing Dave's regular voice, I am also hearing a bee's buzz version of his voice. So I am really having to actually listen and focus on him this episode to figure
Yeah,
out what he's saying.
unlike normal. So, why don't you talk about the next article, and I'm going to
Yes.
cycle the audio for you.
Okay, sounds good. Well, Fortnite. It's been a while since we've talked about Fortnite. Of course, they were taken off the Apple's devices and that whole thing. Well, they have launched on Amazon's Luna cloud gaming service. So they have teamed up with Amazon to get Fortnite available on there. If you're an Amazon Prime subscriber,
Hmm.
you can play Fortnite for free on Luna. Enjoy a selection of games that will rotate every month. So Amazon Luna is currently available on PCs, Macs, and Chromebooks via the web. It's also available on iOS, Android, Amazon's Fire TV platform, and other smart TVs and streaming media players.
Hmm.
So if you don't have Amazon Prime subscription, you can do a trial for the Luna Plus or pay $10 a month. But Dave,
Yeah,
have you played with the Amazon Luna service much?
I have a little bit. I don't have the
And I
controller.
can't hear you at
Oh,
all now.
okay. So I'm hoping that the people at home can hear me, so I'm going to turn this
So
off.
I will. There we go.
Yeah.
Now I
So
can hear you again.
I was going to say, you have to kind of have the controller to really play with the service. I mean, you can use your
Oh, okay.
computer without the Luna, but that's like they want you to use the controller, which hooks to the Wi-Fi, and I don't have that. But it was fascinating to learn that I've been wanting to play Fortnite on my Mac for the longest time, and you can use NVIDIA GeForce streaming service to do that. And I think if you have Xbox Game Pass, you can do it on your Mac through a browser. But with this new Amazon Luna, you can play Fortnite for free through their service on your Mac. And I did try it, and it's not that great. I'd rather use my
Yeah.
Xbox Series X, but
Oh, yes,
but you know,
yes. Not everybody has that luxury. Well, also in Fortnite, you might want to practice up because Fortnite is headed to the Olympics as an official esport.
that's amazing. And I am not good enough to play um, Fortnite at the Olympics. There's the article. I wanted to get it up for our listeners. And Nate,
Yeah.
you're probably hearing the garbled again, but
No, I am not.
oh, it's pretty good then. Okay, so Fortnite is headed to the Olympics as an esport. Now, esport is a thing that more and more people are participating in, and even participating in the watching of it. And I predict, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 years, it's going to be like a major thing. You're going to see it on
Yeah.
regular TV. So, up and coming.
Yes, yeah. So it says taking place in Singapore, the 4-day festival of virtual sports and gaming created by the International Olympics Committee will see a dozen players from the Fortnite Champion Series compete in a sharpshooting competition backed by the International Shooting Sport Found Federation. So, wow.
Wow, that's pretty fancy.
Yes.
But
They're
yeah,
doing some other games as well: Gran Turismo, Just Dance, Zwift, cycling, and web chess.
well, there's a group of people. So, you're a little bit younger than me, but when I grew up, video games were new, and I've been playing them ever since. But there's so many people who grew up playing video games who are now adults. That's how old we are.
Ah,
The people,
yes.
the people who were born when video games were a thing, are now adults, and so it's just going to keep going, and it's going to gain in popularity. And I think that esports will be with us for a long, long time.
Yes, indeed. And good old Amazon is working to boost the capability of Alexa.
Oh man, they sure do need this. So it's funny, the picture they chose is like the original
Yeah.
Echo.
Echo Dot.
Yeah. But so are they going to use AI like we predicted a couple weeks
Well,
ago,
yes,
or
yes, they are. And the term that is being used a lot is LLM, which is a large language model. That's
yes.
OpenAI and all these things.
I thought that was
So
the name
they're,
of a telescope, large
yes,
telescope.
large lunar
Yeah.
module
Right.
model. But yeah, so they're developing a more generalized and capable LLM to support Alexa. So there was actually, I didn't link to it, but Tim Cook did an interview somewhere this last week, and he said, yeah, we are all in on AI. We just are being cautious and taking our time to develop it the right way, which is a very Apple thing to say. And we'll see how Amazon does. But yeah, these voice assistants that we've had now that OpenAI is available. But I was thinking about it, it is a completely different world between like OpenAI, you can't just talk to it and have a conversation. So I think there's some added stuff there of which they'll work out. I mean, the stuff's moving at the speed of voice, speed of sound,
Yeah.
um, but it'll be getting improved and improved over and over again. And so we'll see what Amazon's able to do with Alexa. Because didn't you say recently that you've basically stopped using your Alexa devices?
Yeah, it's been getting worse and worse and making me more and more angry. And look, I used to have hair. Here, let's go to the
Yeah.
sky cam for those watching online. This I used before last year. I had a full head of glorious hair, and just dealing with Alexa has made me go completely bald in the past year. No, I recently picked up for half price an Amazon, or I'm sorry, an Apple HomePod. So I've been trying to use that. And in my office here, I have a dedicated iPad with Siri on it and Apple Music. So hopefully I can use that as kind of a uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Poor man's HomePod.
Yes.
It's funny. An iPad or an iPhone as but they're older devices, so it's not quite the poor man's, but still. Um, anyway, I'm looking very much forward to both Apple Siri and Amazon Alexa to use these large language models so that I'm not constantly frustrated with what they have to say in response to me. So, and as a sidestep, if anyone out there knows how to get on iOS 16 when you evoke Siri with your voice to like send a text message while you're driving. Let's say you have your maps up and you're driving and you say, "Hey, send a text message to Nate." It stays there. It doesn't go back to your map ever.
Oh yeah.
The old version used to. I tried it on my older devices. It hears what you want, does it, and then goes away. Am I missing something there, or is that the behavior that it's supposed to use?
No, I don't use it much, but I do. I have seen that, and it
Okay.
doesn't seem like it's very user friendly, especially when you're trying to be hands free.
Yeah, you have to touch it, or you have to say cancel or go back to ay ay ay. So, thank you, large
Yes,
language model,
and you
for
are
improving this stuff.
garbled again in
Oh,
my ear,
okay.
just to let you know.
Well,
But you,
there's no other article for me to do it, but I will switch off the thing here. And sorry for those listening at home. I'll
well,
switch it back.
Dave went away there,
Yeah.
but Dave will be right back for Dave's pro tip of the week.
Can you hear me again, Nathan?
Yes,
All right.
yes,
So
indeed.
I am back, and I think people at home can hear me the whole time. I'm just shutting it
Yeah.
off for you, brother. Oh, that reminds me. I could do Hulk Hogan. I'm just shutting it
Oh,
off for you, brother. That's pretty good. All right. So where were we? Dave's pro tip of the week. This is something I do, and since we're on video, I can show you. Do I want to show everybody in the world my phone? I have an app right here called Scanner Pro by
mm,
Readle,
oh yes.
Readdle. And I'm going to move this around because I want people to see my stuff. But you've got a bunch of folders and files and all this stuff here that I can put a piece of paper down and I can hit the plus button and it scans it into Readle and I can organize the files. I can even link it to a cloud service to have it automatically go there. I've been finding it more and more difficult to be able to find a good way to take it out of Scanner Pro and put it into my Apple Files. You think I could just go share to Files, but
Oh,
no, it
yeah.
wants to like send it somewhere. I can't find
Oh,
the Files little icon in there. It's driving me crazy.
weird.
And I'm just like, I don't want to sync it up with uh, Google Storage and then go into Google Storage and move it over to Files or set up a thing. So I'm like, let me revisit this. A couple years ago, we talked about scanning directly into Notes or scanning directly from your camera, blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe we talked about it and maybe I forgot. But when you're in Files, the Files app on your phone, and I'm going to load it up here real quick.
Yeah.
Let's go to a folder. I'm going to go back to Browse, and I'm going to go iCloud Drive. And in here, I've got 3D printer files because I'm Dave Baylor.
Yes.
And so
you
here's
are.
my 3D printer files folder.
Yeah.
All right. If I want to, I can just click right in this folder, the three dot icon.
Oh,
What do we call
yes.
that? The triple nipple last time?
I think so.
Inside there is an option that says scan documents. And when you press that, it'll open up the scan documents interface. That's just the camera
Oh.
with the little outline. And when you hit save, it puts it right in that folder. So now when I'm
Oh.
scanning receipts or I'm scanning documents for the HOA or something for insurance or something for work or whatever, I'm just going to go to that folder, pop open the scan icon, tap it, and it's going to put the file right where I want it without any fuss or muss, as they say, as the kids say
Oh,
these days.
yes, I did, and I've got the auto scan feature turned on, and it found the piece of paper. It auto scan. I mean, I'm telling you, and I've mentioned it a couple times. The Files app is vastly underutilized, and I'm trying to use it more and more. But it's so much better for organizing things or just keeping everything in the Photos app.
Yeah.
Uh, that is, I did not know you could scan right into there too, and that I am going to be using that often.
And a real-time follow-up on my sidestep from before. Tyler says that you can say, "Hey Siri, goodbye," and it'll go back to whatever you were doing. But
Uh,
I don't want to do that because in the olden days, it would just go away by itself, like after 5 seconds.
yeah.
So for me, that's better because I don't want to keep putting mental energy into the device that's on my dash when I'm trying to drive a car. And it seems like they forced you to do that. Oh, and what's funny is my iPad up here is now dictating everything I say because I said that SIRI word. That's
Yes.
uh, please,
Yeah.
large language model, save us. You're our only hope.
Yes, indeed. And Mr. Chris Kent, on your impersonation, said maybe it sounded a little more like Kermit Hogan
Oh yeah,
than Hulk Hogan.
I do what most Chris, I do what most podcasters do, is I make a pot of coffee, and then I put what do you call it?
Kramer?
What's the stuff I've been drinking? The
Stevia?
no, the heavy whipping cream. Geesh,
Oh, heavy cream,
I
yes.
put heavy cream in here, and it just coats your voice and makes it's the complete
Yeah.
opposite of what singers or podcasters should be drinking
Yes.
when they're talking. So
Pro tip,
yeah,
less dairy before talking a lot.
yeah.
So I couldn't get as low as I wanted, brother.
So I'll work on it. Next time
Yes.
I'll drink caffeinated soda. Is that better? No, that's not better. Water is what you should be drinking. But
Water
I
is
digress.
better.
All
Yes. Well, let us move on to our takes of the week.
And go ahead, Nate. You can go ahead and talk.
Yes, and as I get started, once that's finished, you are quite garbled in my ear again
Okay.
if you want to do that trick again. But I've got two stories grouped together here, which kind of are boggling my mind as far as how this is all going to work out. The first one, there was big news this week that Apple and Google are teaming up to stop unwanted AirTag tracking. So they're working to have it kind of be cross-platform because Google is releasing kind of their type, their version of AirTag, and Apple is obviously has the AirTags, which are everywhere. So they're going to try to make it easier for, this whole stalking thing that everybody's talked about, that people are being stalked with AirTags all over the place, to which I will say, and I got an ad, I should have saved it, I think it was on Twitter, an ad for some magnetic device, and they just show you, like in the 80s on a movie where you just throw it underneath your car, and it's got a magnet, and it'll do GPS tracking anywhere and do all this stuff. So if you really want to stalk someone, which you shouldn't, there's much better ways to do it. But then the second story is the New York Police Department is urging citizens to use AirTags to fight theft, and they actually have Mayor Eric Adams announced the distribution of 500 free AirTags to New Yorkers, saying the technology would aid in reducing the city's surging car theft numbers. So instead of police officers, they're using AirTags. But here's my dilemma.
Okay.
If we're supposed to use AirTags to track our stolen cars, but Apple and Google are working together to make it easier to know if somebody's tracking you with an AirTag, then aren't we fighting against each other? And which is more important, this stalking thing or being able to find your car or something else after it's stolen? Dave, what say you?
Can you hear me? No.
Todd says the audio keeps dropping when you use that transition. Like it's ducking audio that isn't there. It doesn't drop the audio all of the way out, but it just lowers it as some real-time feedback. But Dave, I cannot hear you.
Okay, well, that's probably good. I'm sure
so
everybody...
You're not echoing, but you're also not talking in my ear.
Yeah, which is probably good for you, although I think everyone online could still hear me. Whenever government gets involved and there's a question of which is greater, what should be done, who should be in charge, it's always never the government. So if I were to pick one side or the other, I would say, hey, peanut butter government, stay out of my chocolate, which is my private industry. Because I have been wrong in the past, but I feel like Apple and Google teaming up to solve a technology problem is probably better than the New York mayor and New York police trying to use technology to solve a problem. Yeah. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yes, and I will quickly remind people that we are the most nonpartisan tech podcast on the internet. But yeah, it's like opposite. We've got two different problems that are being solved here. The stalking, but then the thieves will know that you're stalking them, so that's good stalking, bad stalking show title.
Santa Claus stalking.
It's like I don't know what the answers are here, but it would be ideal if Apple and Google can make it harder for somebody nefarious to be stalking you, while also you can use AirTags to track things that have been stolen from you. And then there was on the NYPD thing, it's like, okay, then do you have to like share that information with the cops? Are they going to be able to access
it's
your
like how
data?
How are they able to connect in? Do you have to share your AirTag information with them, or all the tags on the police's database so that you don't have any visibility? But then your phone's going to be like, there's an unknown tracker in your car. It's like, yes. I know, I put it there. Just like my headphones that I own that keep saying, hey, there's headphones following you around. Yeah, they're my headphones.
Yes. In this tweet from the NYPD Chief of Department is the Twitter name. Chief of Department. That's weird English. But the tweet says, the 21st century calls for 21st century policing. AirTags in your car will help us recover your vehicle if it's stolen. We'll use our drones, our Star Chase technology, and good old-fashioned police work to safely recover your car. Help us help you. Get an AirTag. So I wonder if Apple's paying them to advertise the AirTags.
I don't know. And the article said there was like 500 available. There's like a million
Yeah.
people there. So it's like, is it really going to make that big of an impact?
Yes, I don't know, but let us move on to somebody else. Oh, no, Apple again. So you might have noticed, I got it this week. There was a notification that says, Apple Rapid Security Response Update. Click to install now. And people hadn't seen this before. If you're on their beta program, you might have seen it because they had done some testing. But this was a feature that Apple released last fall for iOS and macOS, probably iPad OS as well, where the way that they've developed their system now, a lot of people are really leery to do an iOS update because their phone's going to be down for 30 minutes while it's got that white line that grows like ever so slowly on your iPhone while it's installing, and you need to get back to Candy Crush.
Right.
But these rapid security response updates, they are very tiny, and they can be used when there's like a 0 day, like we always talk about. And I did it, and it took less than 5 minutes. Basically did a reboot, and this was installed, but they've changed the way the operating system works so they don't have to reinstall the whole thing. They can just target certain aspects to take care of these security issues. So,
Yeah.
sorry we didn't warn you better.
So I'm going to see if it comes back up. We'll just wait. Okay, I think we're back. Well, so we're not going to fix this audio for our audio listeners, but our stream dropped out and we're back, I believe. So
Yes.
please let us know in the chat if
They have not caught up yet because I'm watching the YouTube studio and it was me slowly drawing the white line. I cannot see the OBS. If you are able to let me...
Yeah, I can do that. Maybe we'll have to fix this, but my hope... Well, actually, no. We're just leaving it in. Warts and all, Nate. That's what we're
Yes,
gonna
you're back,
do.
Todd says.
Okay, so that was weird.
Well, fun.
Yeah. See,
Technology.
Nate, this is why, for those following along at home, this is why I have some of a browser and the notes and all this stuff on another computer, because you don't want to put everything on one computer, or you can run
all
into
your
problems.
eggs in ABD. Always be diversifying. We've got always be charging, always be documenting. Oh, that's another D. I was thinking we need to have a B and then each letter of the alphabet for all the different. Always be backing up.
Yeah.
Always be allocating.
What are you going to do for Z?
Z. Always be zipping. Which actually,
Zooming.
I have a future pro tip about zipping, so we will get to always be zipping at some point. But let us get back to our takes. And this week, in making us feel old, the iMac turns 25.
Yeah, but I remember when the little teardrop-shaped iMac debuted, and we didn't know each other then. Oh, whoops.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that was pre us a few years before we knew each other. And Dave, your audio was going a little wonky there again. If you're going to reset, but we did from the YouTube. We've got Always Be Vulnerable from Chelsea and Always Be Hoganing from Chris. So, and Wes has joined in with us. So we've got a nice little party going in the YouTube while we work out our difficulties.
I love it.
They
So
can
maybe
just talk there.
Maybe we should just do YouTube only and not do the audio podcast. What do you think?
Yeah, there we go.
I mean,
but back to the iMac. So
yes.
if I remember correctly in my Apple nerddom, in 1998, when they released the original, there was only the Bondi Blue. Is that? And then they released the colors a year later, I believe it was, in 99?
That is correct.
Yeah, so they had the Bondi Blue, and then in 99 they went to the 5 colors, which is kind of when it really... in the lime green iMac was my very first Mac computer. and I've still got it downstairs.
And mine was the
Because I
purple
never
one.
get right. Yeah, everybody's shocked.
Yeah.
Sit down. Nate's still got some technology from his past.
Mine was the purple one. You can hear me, right? I hope.
Grape. Yes,
Yes.
I can
Okay.
hear you.
And I ended up selling it at a garage sale, probably in 2015 or something like that. And I kind of don't regret it because it just took up so much space, and it's a tube like a cathode
Yeah.
ray tube, CRT, and so like it started to like kind of warp and it wasn't as bright, and I'm just like I gotta have an LCD here. This is driving me
Yeah.
crazy. So I did get rid of it, but I have one at work that just was one that
grape
was
one?
it's not grape, but it was in a closet.
I was
So-
going to say, I actually do have a grape one in the garage as well.
Did you buy it
If,
from me at a garage sale?
No, it was my dad had it as a work computer for
Yeah.
a while, and then I think he got to take it home, and I, as previously noted, have it stored away in the garage with everything else in the world.
Well, for that family that bought it for $40 from the garage sale, congratulations. You now have a computer that's worth $5. So there you go.
Exactly. And in a little more modern Apple news, just this week, this last week, they launched 20 fun new games for its award-winning Apple Arcade service.
Now,
What the Car, TMNT, Splintered Fate, Disney Spellstruck, and Cityscape Sim Builder are available today, along with more than 200 total games in Apple Arcade.
no, they're not fun games. They're not great games at all. They're just regular old mobile games that are the same as they ever were. And
But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I mean, they're not any more fun than the ones that were there already. There were a lot of good games here, but
Yes,
I
there are
think
a
a lot
lot.
of people with this announcement were expecting, like Halo or
Yes.
that's my age. What's a new game? Elden Ring is a newer game, or the new Dead Space or whatever. But no, just more mobile games for everybody to
Yeah.
enjoy.
Yes, it looks like they have, there's a couple, but Dave, being the Kansas farm boy, you are Farming Simulator 20 Plus.
Yeah, now that's a good one.
With tools, 100 realistic vehicles and tools from leading brands like John Deere, Case IH, International Harvester, and Massey Ferguson. Wow.
Well, and what's probably available in that game is that you buy the John Deere tractor, and then you have to subscribe to services to have them come work on it, because that's the whole big digital
Yes.
the thing. And Nate, while you talk about the remainder of this article and the next one, I'm going to try to get our web browser working again so that people can see these articles.
Nice.
So it's going to
Yes.
look weird on the stream for a minute, but just ignore it.
Yes, and Chris mentioned that we definitely need a Cribs, not nerd edition, where we do a MTV Cribs of our homes, which I actually, it was probably about 20 years ago, did a fun Cribs video that I'll have to dig out of the archives. Did not quite have the technology or the amount of stuff that I do now. But time for a little security and privacy. Sorry, Dave.
There we go.
There it is. The city of Dallas was hit by hackers. It hit their servers.
The stream died again, Nate. Can you hear me? Nate?
I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah.
And last time they said they could hear us.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm trying to. I got
it's
rid of
back
this.
again. Todd says.
Yeah, I got rid of the stinger, and then when it crashed, it came back. So I got rid of the stinger again, and I think it caused it to crash again.
And you are garbled.
Oh, jeez.
So maybe they can hear us. So
All
the
right.
audio is still working.
Well, you just keep on going.
Yes. So the city official said in a statement Wednesday that hackers had compromised a number of servers, and they were working with vendors to try to control the spread of the malware. So once again, one of these city attacks, which is just not good, especially when it's limiting police systems. Um, not I don't know. There doesn't seem to be any answer. The Royal Hacking Group previously hit the Dallas School District, and never fear, the city officials are asking for patience during the recovery period. So this is not fun stuff, and of course they're asking for a ransom, and we'll see. It seems like sometimes they pay, sometimes they don't, but hopefully Dallas is not a small city, so hopefully they can get that back up and working, and their citizens having effective government. That's a good one.
That was a funny one. And I'm assuming you can hear me now, Nate.
Yes.
The efforts to put our web page back up have failed. So
Okay, so maybe we'll stay away from web pages and stick to our beautiful faces.
yes, and I think we're done with web pages anyway.
Yes,
Because
yes,
now-
we pretty much are. Well, we're definitely done with them. But our bonus odd take of the week, this first one would be a fun web page to look at. I've got a link in the show notes, which again, our live users, I'm trying to think through putting the links in there. I don't want you guys reading ahead, but
mean,
that's
it's
why
okay.
we would sometimes show them. But this
Yeah.
is through entertainment.ha.com, which the ha.com is Heritage Auctions, and they have this massive auction going on right now of movie and television memorabilia. Like there is a RCA TK11 studio camera from the 1950s, just exactly what you would think of a studio camera looking like. They've got a bunch of title cards for old shows. They've got props. I saw there was some like newer stuff too, like some Survivor memorabilia. There is Keebler Elves Hollow Tree miniature diorama set,
Wow.
interior props from 80s and 90s commercial. There is Mr. Bill. Oh man, a lot of game show stuff. I wanted to really look through here and see. Some of it obviously is going for a lot more than others. Like that camera's at $10,000 for the reserve, but
Yeah,
you could
it's
get
really
the
cool looking though.
Lou Anderson Clarabella the Clown vintage red nose and clown pate from the new Howdy Doody show. Current bid $2.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
but
exciting.
Bozo the Clown, Pete and Wig recreation from the 80s for $575. But they've got, I mean, there are hundreds of different items here. There did have one previously, complete R2-D2 unit assembled from original components spanning the original Star Wars trilogy. I'm sure that went for a penny or two.
How does Heritage Auction get their hands on all this stuff? They're individuals who want to sell it and they use that as their platform to sell it, kind of
I
eBay.
think this one seems to be some sort of massive collection or something like that. But I saw a link to it and I thought that I would share the yellow giraffe, spotted fur, and felt bird hand puppet from Captain Kangaroo. But I think I will move on since we don't have our web browser. And I have a second bonus odd take that I'm actually going to save for next week so that hopefully we will have a web browser again for that one. But you know what we do have? Our picks of the week.
I haven't got an echo effect set up for for that yet. I think it was Tyler that said, "Oh, it's a little shocking to hear Nate say picks of the week without the echo sounder on there." So, we're working on it. Baby steps. Baby steps. That's hard. So picks of the week. That means that's a good cue for me to talk about mine. So I have some. Well, let's see if the Skycam is working. No, it's not really working. But let me.
Wow,
Nice.
speaking of peek behind the curtains.
Yeah. So I'm going to adjust my Skycam here to show I wanted to show my speakers up here that I have. And then I have my computer, and then I have my iPad, and I've got this iPad, but I only have one speakers. So what is a person to do with multiple sources and one set of speakers? Well, you can get a mixer, put all the audio into it, and then mix it. You can get a speaker set like mine, which has the main audio input and an auxiliary input, and then you kind of have two, but it's not an ideal situation because there's one volume control knob on there. So I went and got the Bluetooth 5.3 aux adapter for car, enhanced mic and LED digital display, 22H battery life, and noise canceling JOYROOM 3.5 millimeter auxiliary input adapter, Bluetooth wireless receiver, and car audio, home audio, stereo, metal. And that is not indicative of what it is at all. So what it is, and since we're on video, I'm just going to dismantle my studio here.
And Dave, you are garbled again. Can I vamp quickly while you reset your audio? So you've got a Bluetooth aux adapter for car, but it doesn't seem like you are in your car right now. And so, Dave, there we go.
Okay, so I am not in my car right now, but this is designed to be a car thing. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's this little guy, and it's got a built-in battery. And the idea is you put it in your car, attach it to your stereo, and then you can connect your phone or your computer or iPad or whatever to go through the car stereo system. Well, you can also use it at home on your computer speakers. And so that's what I did. So I can connect my iPad, which is my poor man's HomePod, and my computer, and whatever else I got around here, my other iPad, or my Kindle Fire, or my... You get the idea.
Yeah.
And then I just switch the audio source on the device I want to listen to this thing, and it plays over my speakers. Nice. And I've had a couple different ones of these in the past that utilize the dock connector. You remember that old thing from Apple? You put it on the dock connector, and some of them give you power, some of them you have to have... Well, this is just a newer version of that, and it's got a built-in battery. So if you want to charge it, use it in your car without having all that stuff. But it works pretty well, and my speakers are not of such a quality that I can hear the difference between a standard connection and a Bluetooth audio connection. Sounds just fine to me. So there you go.
Very cool. I like it. Well, before I get to my pick of the week this week, I have got a very special guest, one of my favorite special guests of the show.
I'm right here.
Who has a pick of the week. Well, yes, my not favorite co-host. You are my favorite co-host,
okay.
Dave.
Thank you.
You are. So I've got a guest that has a pick of the week that she would like to show off. Go ahead and join me.
Looky there. Looking good, Isla. Looking good. I can move the window if I need to.
So there's the camera right there. And why don't you tell everybody what you got for your pick of the week?
I have my toothbrushes.
Toothbrushes?
Has these things where you can put your teeth in.
So this toothbrush...
That's crazy.
Yes, it's a little owl, and it's got a little charger thing, and you just set it on there and charge it. And how do you turn it on, Isla?
You click its beak.
Oh.
Click its beak, and it lights up, and then it times, and then how do you do it again?
And then you go like this.
That's really cool.
But you do put toothpaste on it.
Yeah.
It's all the way over here.
Oh, yeah, special little foaming toothpaste that you put on there.
That's really cool.
And it also has different modes. It doesn't just as this one, and it has this one, that one.
A little different
off.
sounds. Yeah, and does that make you want to brush your teeth more?
And it has this cool cup which you can also put it like so it can be like this, and you can also use it as a cup.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so I think we talked a long time ago. There's a brand called Autobrush, which is like the big name brand one that's not cheap. Those ones are about $50, but Chelsea found this one. It's the Kids U-shaped electric toothbrush, sonic toothbrush with IPX7 waterproof 3 cleaning modes, toddler toothbrush, age 2 to 6, children soft toothbrush, 45S smart reminder, cartoon owl design. And on Amazon Prime, it is listed. Do you want to take a guess, Dave, or should we just go with it?
That's going to be $28.99.
Pretty close, $26.89, and right now there's a 20% coupon. So I haven't looked into it too much to see if they have these for adults. It seems like they're mostly directed at the kids, but it has been a real joy for Isla because she just looks forward to brushing her teeth every night.
Huh.
So she wanted to come on and show everybody her toothbrush.
That's pretty dang cool.
And
Good job, Isla.
Todd asked if you have to subscribe to get the special toothpaste, which I believe for the Auto Brush, it is a subscription model, whereas Chelsea was able to find some toothpaste. I don't know if you have to subscribe, but you can subscribe and save on the Auto Brush.
You could probably use anything you wanted. And I was going to ask to turn it on. I thought you were going to have to ask Alexa to turn it on for you.
That's going to help me.
Yes. No, you don't. But yeah, so there it is. And Dave, you are garbled again in my ear.
You're just going to have to deal with it. I'm sorry. I can't help you. All right. Well, you continue talking and I will recycle my audio.
Yes. Okay. Well, Isla, thank you so much for joining us. Anything else you want to say? Anybody you want to say hi to on there?
Hello, Abigail.
Okay. Well, thank you for visiting. We'll have to have you back for another pick soon, huh?
Very cool.
Okay. We'll
Thanks,
get
Isla.
her out of here without... Dave says thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, what do you always say at the end of a video? Come back over on the camera and say it.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. A good reminder for everybody out there.
Excellent.
Get her out of here with her toothbrush. Thank you very much. Bye.
If I had one of those, I might brush my teeth more than once a day.
Yeah. Or, once a week.
Period.
Yes, indeed. Well, I've got a fresh lemon. I will quickly mention before I get to my pick of the week, this week's trucker hat.
Oh, there's more?
Is
Okay.
Hodad's San Diego. When I was down in San Diego a couple months ago with Wes, we found this place had been recommended to us. And you can see it on the PDX Fast Foodie Instagram, probably the largest burger I've ever eaten, and also one of the best tasting burgers. Usually, if you get one of those super huge burgers, they taste horrible. And then if you get a great tasting burger, it's like this tiny little slider thing. Yeah. This was a combination of both. Really cool little place. If you're in San Diego, go to Hodad's. So that's this week's trucker hat of the week.
Very cool.
And that's interesting. It said that our YouTube chat was disconnected, but it's back. And Wes says, that place was so good, I'm still full from eating that burger. Yes, it was insane. But my pick of the week. So, Dave.
Yes.
I have been on this journey since the iPhone 14 came out of no case.
No case on your phone. Yes.
No case on my phone. I haven't had any major issues with dropping it. You had a major issue with dropping my phone. Not to remind you of that. But I do have a case that I'll put on, if I'm traveling or whatever. But I came across something that I've seen these a lot before, but they were running a special. And so I went ahead and picked one up, and I'm trying it out. And it is not a case, but it is a SlickWrap. And if you know, I am a sucker for wood grain.
Oh, here, let me switch it. There we go. You are a wood grain fool. You love
this, I got this, and it came in a 2-pack, and so it goes all around the edges. There's a sticker that goes over the camera part. You can see kind of there. There's a cutout for the Apple logo, but I just left the wood in there. Yeah. And so this specific one, it came in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces, and you put each piece. I realized that the second one, this is a one piece, well, two piece, the camera thing.
Yeah.
So the other one, it just kind of wraps around. It doesn't have the separate pieces. Now, I applied it myself. I did 99% an awesome job.
You did good.
There's one little there, the lip where the two pieces met, it overlaps just slightly. But I've had it on there about a week. I love the feel of it. I love the look of it. And they have a million different options. I think you can even do custom ones with a picture, whatever you want to do on their site. They do them for all different devices.
Does it feel like it protects your phone at all? Like if you were to slide it across the table or drop it on, I don't know, laminate flooring or something, is it going to help with scuffs at all?
It seems like maybe it'll give you a little tiny bit of protection. Obviously, it's not going to protect the screen at all because there's nothing up on the screen or the cameras. But I could see that, if there was if it hit a rock or something, it might give it a tiny bit of protection, but mostly just for the coolness factor.
What if you're on a cement bridge and you drop it from 4 feet onto concrete?
4 feet. That would never happen, Dave. That would never happen.
Well, don't worry about that. Well, I've talked about before, I always put a glass screen protector on mine, and I do use a case. I'm kind of a leather guy.
Yes,
so
you
I
are.
like the leather. I don't think this is real leather, but it looks like leather.
Yeah.
But if I've always wanted to do the SlickWrap things, but I'm just too nervous. And then every once in a while I will drop from a good height or on a hard surface, and I'm like, so glad I didn't choose to go caseless, because it does happen occasionally.
Yes. And Todd said he loves wood cases too. He has a pretty nice one made from real wood. It's not quite as complicated and multi-pieced as that one. It's just a slim case. And that's kind of why I've gone away from the case, is just to keep things as slim as possible. And I've had some wood cases in the past, and some of them are kind of bulky. And that's just what I wanted to avoid. But Dave, what would you pay for this 2-pack of iPhone 14 Pro Wood Series skins for your iPhone?
I have priced them before. I think that's going to be about $20.
$18.95 is the list price, and I think I got another $5 or so off of it. I see at the top of their website at SlickWraps.com, Mother's Day sale, get up to 50% off. Code MOM. Ends in 0 days and end in 0 days, 4 hours. So I guess it ends today. If you're watching live, get over there. But I think they kind of always have a deal if you look around. But they do them, and I've always thought about doing one for my laptop too, but just never gotten around to it. But I'm really liking it on the phone. In my no-case journey, this is kind of a fun way to spruce it up a little bit.
All right, Nate, so the summer is coming, and everybody knows after summer comes fall. And also everybody knows that that's when new iPhones come out, and you're on the give me a new one every year plan. That's the official title, I think.
The iPhone upgrade plan.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. They're both on Apple's website. You can search for either one. But are you planning on the iPhone 15 to go caseless as well, or are you going to maybe go back to case?
I mean, so far, we're 6 months, at least 7-8 months into having this phone, and it's still in one piece. So I think I will probably just go caseless from here on out until somebody drops it from further than 4 feet on a cement bridge and it actually breaks. But with as I've said, the iPhone upgrade plan, I've got Apple Care Plus built into that, so if it does break, I can get it replaced.
Yeah, I do think I was going to mention that. If you do wreck the screen or something for a small fee, you can get it replaced anyway. So maybe that's the way to go. And I think we just got a picture from listener Todd.
Yeah, we got from Todd with his, and it looks, his wood case, it looks like it's a skateboard deck, maybe. I know there was a company before that was making them. It kind of looks like, oh, look at that, real-time action there, adding the photo.
Who needs ATEM switcher with a different computer when you just can show the photo right like that?
Yes, indeed.
Take that, technology.
Yes. Well, if you would like either of our picks or Isla's pick this week, thanks again to her for showing up.
Yeah.
She was really excited to do that. You can head over to notpicks.com, and don't forget, we've got an email list over there where you can just put in your name and email address so we can keep you updated of anything going on at notpicks.com.
Yeah.
With that, I think we will wrap up this episode. Thank you to all of you, so many of you that joined us live. And don't forget, you can watch the video on YouTube later or the podcast. We are, quick programming note, I am trying to now get the podcast out on Tuesdays, just with YouTube and everything. It's gotten a little easier, a little quicker turnaround for us. So be looking in your podcast app or on YouTube for the episode with all the links and everything to be coming out on Tuesdays now. So a whole day earlier. Just for you, and I know that conflicts with the Mark and Toddcast, but you'll just have to listen to 2 podcast episodes in one day so that we can all get out there and tech better.